Colour. All the colours there. Arty farty. Anyway. Right. Here we go. Yay! I am Borg. No. Do both views. I'm going to do my spin quickly. Beautiful. Now it doesn't take long to make a fin. As I say, I only keep one roll of cloth going. Sorry, one roll of tape going at a time. So it's an easy way of doing this too. It's not terribly hard. There we go. That'll do, donkey. A little bit here. Acts like a drip tray or an apron. That's the template. I'll just put that back there for a sec. A little bit of my wax, bit of honey wax. There we go. Now, I'll cut this cloth out quickly. So we're looking at, what's that? I'll get my ruler and measure it. Cloth's 30 inches wide, so I'm not going to get it that way. Okay, three nines are 27. Okay, I'm going to get it 3 wide. Righto, so just work this out. Big 1, 2, 3, 4. It's an easy way of cutting the cloth quickly, what I'm doing here. So bear with me for a minute. There. Right, so 1, 2. So I've only got to do this 3 times to have all the cloth cut. Right, 1. Just measure this. I want it to be about 10 inches. Well, actually 9. Yep, that's about it. Oops. Easy peasy. 12 layers. I'll do that. Do that 3 times. Which is quite easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. Righto. That folds over there. There. Now this panel I'm making is just a little deep in, small panel. Right, there's another 12, and I'll just do that one more time, and that's my cloth cup. Oops, not the 4 ounce. Alright, 1, 2, 3. I only need 36 layers. Normally do 38 when I'm doing a box spin, but because this is just a straight fixed spin, 36 will be enough. It'll make it nice and thick. You don't want these sort of fins to be thin. They just look shit house. Now this is just going to be as well same colour resin. It's all done in the one mix. Okay, so go, put that on there, and cut that little excess off here. So there's 36 layers done with 3 lots of cuts. Now what you do here, you get 6 layers here, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now that means I've got half. So when I'm pulling the cloth out to put on, I know when I'm at the halfway point, okay? That's why you do sort of that. For no other reason, just so you know where you're at. But if you got to try and keep counting, well, that's just another thing to worry about. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do my mix my resin up again. You do that each time and you'll have a perfect mix, okay? If you don't, you will run into troubles, okay? Now, I'll just mix up my bit of resin. Should be enough. There's my lid, there it is. The styrene in there, not heaps, just enough to thin it out a little bit. Stirring the styrene in. That way it's just a little thinner and it'll wet out a bit easier and quicker. And now I'm doing 2 mixes. Always split your mixes up, because if it stays in the pot for too long, it heats up and it'll go off on you. Now I don't want a really hot fin, so I'm only going to put like, what's that, 0.5%, 5 ml, just under 0.5%, 0.75%. That's enough. It'll heat up. If you have it going off too hot, it's not good. Alright, so that's that. Now, I'm just get my gloves. Right, so this is just the pigment fin that's going on this board tomorrow morning. What do I need? A squeegee and roller. Sorry, I had a mind blank then. Roller, squeegee, resin. There we go. Now when you do the same colour all through all the glass, it looks amazing. It really has this solid sort of look to it, you know. I've done a few boards like it, not heaps, but it just looks so cool. It really does. And again, when you do little amounts like this, a lot of companies are trapped in always having to get lots of different fins, or limited on what they can use for fins. So when you make your own, the sky is the limit. There is no limit. So you can really make individual boards quite easily, because you're not relying on someone else making your fins. You can decide, righto, this board I'm going to make the fins certain colour, and that's it. There can be no other board in the world with that colour fin. And I think a lot of the surfers that ride these sort of logs are enjoying the fact that they can get a board that nowhere in the world are they going to get the same colour fin, or the, you know, board. They can have it quite individual. And it is a nice colour. This is going to look great foiled up. think. Right, I'm at the halfway point, so now I know my resin amount that I've got is going to be just right. I know yeah, I know I've got it. Alright, you always get an itchy nose once you got resin on your bloody hands. It's a given. So, and the good thing about this is I'm at the halfway point. So what that means is if the resin started to go off now, you wouldn't be in strife because you're starting another mix. So that's the reason why you sort of do the in two mixes. There we go. So that's that. So I can get rid of that cup, and then I'll get rid of my gloves. Get a new set of gloves on, and then mix up the second mix. Right. It's easy to just take your gloves off and replace your gloves. Stir and stick. Stir that in. There we go. Let's continue. Beautiful. A bit closer, there you go. There we go. So I've just got the right amount of resin on. You do get the hang of this stuff after a while. You remember stuff. You know roughly how much it's going to take. Alright, I'll leave that here. Still need this. Now I'm just going to do the final roll out. And this is just getting all the resin through it, right through to the end here. You don't want any dry spots on the end, because one day you'll do a slab and you'll need right up to the edge of it, and if it's not perfect, you will have wasted a whole slab. That's why I'm rolling this bit out, slowing on the end to roll that bit there. You don't want any air around this end bit. This looks pretty darn good. Now next part, I'm just going to pull the excess off because I don't want floating, you don't want heaps of resin on it. I want the weave to be pretty dry. And then I'll just get rid of this excess here. There we go. Bye-bye. That makes it easier to pull the tape off and it gels. I'll just get rid of this excess. There we go. Chuck that in there. It's all about cleaning up, making it a bit easy, because this tape will come off in about 15 minutes. There we go. It can sit there. That's all spot on. Let's give this a clean. And the next thing I'll do is, when this gels, I'll mix up a little bit of filler resin, a bit of the stuff with a bit of wax in it to make it into filler. And what that'll do is means I can sand the panel and it won't be sticky. Okay, but it'll be done with again the coloured resin. This clean, ready for when I glass the deck in a couple of hours. Righto, that's all clean. That looks good. Right, that's gelling. So I'll chuck this outside. Right, I'll leave that for the moment. As you can see there, it's gelling, all good. I don't want it going off super hot. Okay, I'm happy for it to take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and it won't do anything extreme then. So, right, finished glassing. Towel my hands. Now, what I'm going to do, in about hour and a half, I'll come back in here. I will sand the edge of this lap. As I said, this is all going to be solid pigment, filler coat, the whole lot. So I'll show you what the other side looks like. I didn't have to free lap it. Oh, sorry, I didn't have to cut lap it. So I'll just sand that down, glass over it. As I say, you can't see the stringer, you won't see the lap, you won't see nothing. It'll all be like there. You can see how dark that stringer is, and you see here, can't see it. So, but I'm going to leave that now. I'll come back in 10 minutes, put a filler coat on this, and then, because that's gelled now, put a filler coat on it, and then that's going to be perfect for foiling tomorrow morning and putting on the board. And I'll sand the board in the arvo, and then on Tuesday I'll just whack a finish coat on it with this resin that I've mixed up, the colour, and then it'll be done. There you go, just like clicked in before. So I'll show you where'd the template go? There's the template, and that just goes on here. See, cut the fin out, done. All all together. And as I say, the matching colour, it's all just going to look like that all the way through. So, righto, I'll be back in a little while.